Welcome to the Nameless.
My friends say there's no one there, but when the lights go out, I feel his breath on my neck, and it's getting closer. I didn't always think that way. At first, it was just a draft. That's what I told myself. I moved into the apartment last October, 3rd floor, small building, 4 units total. The kind of place you pick because it's affordable and close to work, not because you love it. It looked normal, smelled normal. The landlord, who I only met once, said the building was quiet. He said that like it was a selling point. I liked quiet. The first night, nothing happened. The second night, I woke up at 2:17 a.m. No reason, just awake. You ever get that feeling? Like someone said your name, but you didn't actually hear it? That. I lay there, staring at the ceiling. The room was dark, but not fully. The streetlight outside bleeds through the blinds in thin orange lines, makes everything look striped. I remember thinking the air felt colder than it should have. Not freezing, just occupied. Like space was being taken up. I told myself it was new place anxiety. Everyone gets that. You move somewhere unfamiliar, your brain stays alert. Every creak sounds intentional. Every pipe knock sounds like a footstep. So I rolled over, and that's when I felt it. A soft warmth at the back of my neck, like someone exhaled. I froze, didn't turn around, didn't move. I just waited. Nothing else happened. Eventually, I convinced myself it was my own breath bouncing off the pillow. Physics, angles, normal stuff. I fell back asleep. The next morning, everything was fine. Sunlight makes things logical. I went to work, told a coworker I hadn't slept well. She laughed and said, "New apartment ghosts." I laughed too, but I didn't like that she said it. That night, I adjusted my pillow, faced the other direction. At 2:17 a.m., I woke up again. This time, I didn't wait. I flipped over immediately. Nothing. Empty room. Closed door. Closet shut. But my heart was racing like I'd just been caught. Caught doing what? I don't know. Over the next week, it became routine. 2:17 a.m. Wake up. Stillness. Breath. Not always strong. Sometimes faint. Sometimes so subtle I almost doubted it. But always there. And here's the thing. It never happened when the lights were on. I tested that. I left my bedside lamp glowing one night. I woke up at 2:17 again. No breath, no cold air, nothing. The room felt flat, dead space. I turned the lamp off, laid back down, waited. At 2:31, I felt it again, closer. That's when I started asking around. I texted my friend Daniel, asked if he'd ever had sleep paralysis. He said yeah, once in college. Asked if I could move. I could. Asked if I saw anything. I didn't. He said it was probably stress. That made sense. Work had been heavy lately. Deadlines, late nights. So I bought a camera. Just a cheap indoor security cam. Motion detection, night vision. If something was there, I'd have proof. The first night I set it up, I slept facing the room. At 2:17, I woke up. The breath was there, stronger, slow, deliberate, like someone trying not to be heard. I didn't move. I let it happen. I wanted the camera to catch it. In the morning, I checked the footage. Nothing. No movement, no sound spikes, just me, asleep, occasionally shifting. At exactly 2:16:58 a.m., the footage glitched. Not dramatically, just a tiny stutter, a half-second skip, then normal again. I watched it 10 times. Every night after that, same thing. Wake up, breath, footage stutter at 2:16:58. No visible cause. I called the camera company. They said minor network interference. Happens all the time. I asked why it was always the same second. The guy on the phone paused, said, Probably coincidence. Probably. That word started to bother me. I invited Daniel over one weekend. Didn't tell him why. We ordered food, watched a movie, stayed up late. At 2:17, I was wide awake. He was asleep on the couch. I stayed in my room. Waited. Nothing. No breath, no cold air. Just silence. The next morning, I asked him if he heard anything overnight. He shook his head. Dude, your place is dead quiet. Dead quiet. After he left, I laid down on my bed. Middle of the day, bright, safe. I closed my eyes, and for just a second, I felt something shift behind me. Not the mattress, the air, like someone adjusting their stance. I turned around. Empty. I checked the closet, under the bed, bathroom. Nothing. That's when I started noticing something else. My mail. It was inconsistent. Some days nothing would arrive, not even junk. Other days I'd get mail addressed to someone else. Not previous tenant stuff, just incomplete names, like M. Har, cut off. No last name, no full address, just my building number and unit. I asked the landlord about previous tenants. He said the unit had been vacant for a while. How long is a while? He didn't answer directly, just said, long enough.
I tried looking up the building online. Nothing. No rental history, no property listing archives. Even the street view images were outdated, like the building wasn't worth documenting. That unsettled me more than the breath. One afternoon, I went to the city records office. Figured I'd request basic information, construction date, ownership history. The clerk typed in the address, frowned, typed again. She said, "Are you sure that's correct?" I showed her my ID. She stared at the screen for a long time, then said, "There's no structure listed at that number." I laughed, said I was standing in it. She shrugged. "Maybe it's under a different designation." She took my number, said she'd call. She never did. That night, 2:17 came early. I didn't even feel asleep, just pulled into awareness. The room felt smaller. The breath was closer than ever, right against my skin. Slow inhale, slow exhale. I whispered, "Stop." It didn't. I turned on the light. Instantly, it was gone. But here's what bothered me. The indentation on my pillow, behind me, a shallow dip, like weight had just lifted. I pressed my hand there. The fabric was warm. I started sleeping with the lights on after that. The breath stopped, but something else started. Footsteps, not loud, not creaking boards, just subtle pressure shifts in the floor. One step, pause. Another step, always stopping at my bedroom door, never opening it. I set up a second camera in the hallway. Same glitch at 2:16:58. No visible movement. But once, just once, the audio picked up something. It wasn't a voice. It wasn't clear. Just a soft inhale, too close to the mic. I almost convinced myself it was me, except I was in the bedroom, across the apartment. I started recording myself sleeping on my phone too. Redundancy, backup proof. Every recording corrupted at 2:17. Not deleted, just unplayable, like the file hit a wall. I told Daniel everything. He didn't laugh this time. He said I sounded tired. Suggested I stay at his place for a few nights. I did. 3 nights. Perfect sleep. No 2:17 wake up, no breath, no footsteps. I felt ridiculous, like I'd spiraled over nothing. On the 4th day, I went back to my apartment in the afternoon. Sunlight filled the place. It looked harmless, smaller than I remembered. I stood in the doorway of my bedroom for a long time, just looking at the bed. And I had this sudden, sharp thought. What if it's not attached to the room? What if it's attached to me? That night, I didn't sleep in the bed. I slept on the couch. Lights off. I woke up at 2:17. The breath was there. Behind my neck. On the couch. I moved back to Daniel's permanently after that. Left most of my stuff behind. Told the landlord I was breaking the lease. He didn't argue. Didn't even seem surprised. When I went back to get the last of my things, something felt off. The hallway looked longer. The light at the end flickered. My apartment door was slightly open. I was sure I'd locked it. Inside, everything was exactly as I left it, except the bed. The pillows were flipped to the opposite side, indentation facing the wall, like someone preferred that position. I checked the cameras one last time. Unplugged, cords neatly coiled. I don't remember doing that. I left without finishing packing, told myself material things don't matter. Here's the part I haven't told anyone. A week after I moved out, I drove past the building, just to see it, just to prove it was real. The lot was empty. No building, just a fenced patch of dirt. No debris, no demolition signs, nothing. I parked, walked up to the fence. There was no indication anything had ever stood there. I checked my phone. My address history still listed it. My mail had been forwarded from it. I called Daniel, asked him to describe the place. He hesitated, said, "What place?" I reminded him, "Movie night, couch, 3rd floor." Long silence. Then he said, "I don't remember that." I laughed.
Thought he was joking. He wasn't. I checked our texts. The conversation about the movie was there, but no address. No mention of staying over, just vague messages. I scrolled through my photos. No pictures inside the apartment. None. I know I took some. I remember complaining about the lighting. They were gone. I went back to the city records office, asked again about the address. Different clerk this time. Typed it in. Said, "That number does exist on that street." I showed her a screenshot of my lease. The file wouldn't open. Error message. Corrupted. She looked at me like I was confused. Maybe I was. I started questioning small things. Did I ever actually move? My current place has all my furniture. The same furniture I thought I left behind. The same bed. Same pillows. Sometimes at night I wake up at 2:17. Not every night. Just enough. The room is different now. Different layout. Different walls. But the darkness feels the same. Heavy. Occupied. And when I lie still, very still, I feel it again. Breath. Close. Patient. Like it's been waiting for me to notice. I don't turn around anymore. I don't turn on the lights, because I'm starting to think the lights were never what made it disappear. I think they just made it step back, give me space, let me believe I was alone. And sometimes, when I'm almost asleep, I wonder something worse. Not that the building vanished, not that the records were wrong, but that I never left that bedroom, that I'm still there, facing the wall, feeling the breath behind me, and everything since has just been what it wants me to see.